Hey Dragons, it's Paige and my cat Tuna here with your weekly Thunder Index, where we discuss all things science, storms, stars, and sustainability. This term we're going to do things a little bit differently. This season we're going to dive deeper into topics that we care about and hopefully find some cool projects that support them around the world. Additionally, since we pre-film, we want to give you the most updated information. So we are moving our COVID campus reports as well as our weekly weather updates to our social media channels. So make sure you are following us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter to get my weekly weather report as well as our COVID case numbers. This week we are going back to the basics with sustainability. It is a topic that is talked about a lot these days, especially with climate change being such a hot political topic. But what even is sustainability? By definition, sustainability is the method of harvesting or using a resource so that the resource is not permanently damaged or depleted. With this all-encompassing definition, though, sustainability can refer to many different things. For example, can my body sustain eating solely cups of ramen as every meal and pulling all-nighters at least 2 nights a week? Probably not. That kind of life is considered not sustainable. Usually though, you hear this word when it comes to the environment. There are so many different kinds of ways we can live more sustainably to help our environment, but today we are going to be talking about fossil fuels. It's hard to think that one day the world could run out of something that is naturally made on planet Earth, but unfortunately this is a very true reality. Currently, we run most of our power sources from non-renewable energy sources such as coal, natural oil, gas, and nuclear power. Collectively, we call these elements fossil fuels. Like mentioned before, fuels are non-renewable, meaning that once we use all of them, they're gone, forever. Now, this process may take up to 100 years, but what about the billions of people that need to live on this planet after us? Not only are fossil fuels non-renewable, but when they are burned, which is how you get energy out of them, they release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. The carbon dioxide, also known as CO2, then gets trapped, which is the main contributor to global warming, which we'll talk about more next week. There are indeed alternatives to fossil fuels, however. Some of those include biomass energy, hydropower, geothermal power, wind energy, and solar energy. Wind energy and solar energy are pretty self-explanatory, so let's explore some of the others. Biomass energy is anything that is organic material from plants or animals. A common form of biomass energy is ethanol, which comes from corn and other plants. These plants and animals contain energy when burned, but they still release CO2. However, they release the same amount of CO2 that the plant that it made takes in, so consider it a carbon neutral process. Now, how does the biomass even get its energy, you may ask? Well, it gets it from the sun. In nature, energy cannot be lost or destroyed, so the root of all energy just comes from the sky. Our wonderful Mr. Sun is the true source of all of our energy. Then we have things like hydropower and geothermal energy. Both of these things happen on or in the ground. Hydropower is any source of energy that is powered by water. So like those large water mills in old-time prairie TV shows, that's how they're getting their hydropower. Then geothermal power comes from steam and hot water found in subsections of the earth. To harvest this energy, sometimes you may have to dig a mile deep, but then this hot water and steam energy is harvested and can be used to power or heat. Alright, wow, so that was a lot about sustainability. I think we may need a brain break to close off this episode. Let's get our daydreaming hats on and float up into the clouds. This term, we are going to be presenting a cloud of the week. You have all probably seen your typical stratus and cumulonimbus clouds, so we want to dive into some really cool and unique clouds. But we're going to get to those guys another time. For now, let's start with the basic. This week's cloud is one of my personal favorites and one of the most common, a cumulus cloud. These clouds look like fluffy white cotton balls. Think about those classic sky pictures you drew in elementary school with the sun in the corner and the glasses and the clouds all over. You were probably drawing cumulus clouds. And if you've ever been cloud watching where you look in the sky and compare the clouds to different shapes and characters, you are also probably looking at cumulus clouds. They are known for their fun and unique shapes. Fun fact, they are also some of the lowest flying clouds, typically only 6,000 feet or less away from you. This season, we will be diving into all sorts of cloud, so stay tuned for next week as we take a look at my personal favorite, and in my opinion, the coolest cloud, Mammatus. Well, Dragons, that is all of the science, storms, stars, and sustainability that I have for you this week. As always, it's always thundering in Philadelphia. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.